This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to show you through this 2020 Micro Boost XLR 27 LR LE. Okay, I'm here on the door side, walking towards the rear. Okay, first of all, obviously it is a toy hauler, and this part I won't go into because it's self-explanatory, but obviously you know how the latches work on it. So I'm just going to focus more on the features of the inside of the trailer. So you have crank down stabilizers. That takes a crank or 3/4 inch socket. You can use either or. People like to use the a 3/4 inch socket with a drill these days. And you got a dog tie off. You have a power awning, long power awning with LED strip. Outside speakers. This is just the service panel for the refrigerator. You don't really need to go in there. You've got antenna out plus power plus a mount for a TV if you want to hang a TV outside. Now this is the vent hood for your, or the vent for your range hood fan. So the other thing to know about this is there's a baffle in here that hopefully you can see it. It flaps freely. You want to keep it shut, basically like that when you're not using the fan. But if you ever use the fan, you gotta click those and open it up so it flaps freely and vents to the outside. Otherwise, you keep it shut. Your water heater works on both gas and electric. Gas or electric. Keep in mind, now this trailer, I won't know till I get to the inside. I should have looked, but I did not. But it may have an electric switch inside. But I just want you to know that this switch right here at the lower left-hand corner, this operates the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So to run it on electric, this is going to have to be on, and we'll see if there's a switch inside too. Sometimes there's both these days, but I just want you to be aware that this one is here. The gas switch is to light it on gas is definitely inside. This is where you drain it right here. It's got an anode rod attached to the drain plug. It's 1 1/16". And always vent the pressure out right here before you take the plug out, so you don't get it'll shoot out there like a cannonball followed by a gallon or two of water. So, okay. All right, we'll talk more about that on the inside. What do we got here? Oh, this is just, you can crank the slide out manually. So I don't know if you can see it in there. Let me see if I can show it to you. Yeah, right there. You can see there's a hex inside there. You can put your 3/4 inch wrench on there and crank this slide out manually if you have to, just in case it was to fail. They're very reliable, but you know, it can fail. So you can always get yourself out of trouble that way. You got to crank it about 1,000 times, but it beats driving home with your slide out, or camping with it in for that matter. Okay, your steps fold into the trailer. Keep in mind you can adjust the legs by pulling this pin here, and there's holes in the legs so you can adjust it to for different depending on how the ground is, if it's level or not, or if there's a dip, you can always adjust them as needed. Okay, keep in mind now, I noticed that this particular trailer, if you have the door open all the way, this is the front door, entry door, the awning arm will hit it when it goes out, so you're going to have keep it like at a 90-degree angle when you're sending the awning out. Alright, in here is your spare tire, obviously. You have your crank that we spoke about right here. This is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline. We'll show you how that operates, but keep in mind, when you're first using it, if you're not familiar with it, you can always refer to Husky Centerline's website, and they've got links to good hookup videos, so you can always refresh your memory that way. This is just if you wanted to buy a solar panel that'll charge your battery, this is where you would plug it in. That's all that is, just for charging the battery. It won't run the trailer or anything like that, just the battery charging, and that's a Thru. Okay, so you've got a deep cycle marine battery, 2 20-pound LP tanks. This is an automatic changeover LP regulator here. This is not a selector here. This is just a gauge. These are both full, so you can see it's green. But if a tank runs out, you can point it at the tank. and if it's empty, it'll turn red. That's all it is. This is going to change over automatically. Draw this one down, then this one down, and back and forth. This is your power tongue jack. You can operate this manually too by pulling this plug up. And there's also a hex in there. I believe that one's a 3/4 also. So you can always get out of trouble that way with this too. But normally it's up and down. All right. Okay, so here's your water station. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to hook up with city water right here. Just hook your hose on there, turn it on, and you're ready to go. If you're rustic camping or going to a campground that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, you can fill the onboard fresh water tank right here and use the onboard pump to pump your water. So you got 2 options there. Usually they're going to have city water. That's just all your fresh water drain is down below to drain your fresh water tank. This is just cable and satellite through, and they're just coax hookups. This is where your power cord goes, right here. This is a 30 amp power cord, 25 feet long. And these are your dump valves. So basically you're going to hook your hose on here. The other end goes in the dump station. I don't know if this has been dumped yet because we just water tested it, so I'm going to sort of get on my toes here in case I have to move to... Yep, sure enough. So that's just fresh water from water testing it. But it gives you an idea. You pull the gate valves out. You'll pull the black one first because the black tank holds toilet water and waste, and then the gray holds sink and shower water. So you always pull the black first. And then you can pull the gray because it's cleaner water than the black water, so it will help to wash out your hose. Now after doing that, you're going to keep your black tank open, and you're going to come back over here to the water station, and this is a black tank flush. You can see we're right above the other hookup there. Okay. So after that, with the black tank open, you hook your hose onto here and turn on the water, and it'll spray the inside of your black tank out. Clean off the sensors and just keep it really clean inside. So it's a good thing to do. It's a good practice to get into. These are obviously just vents for your garage. You have your backup camera hooked up already, ready to go. That backup camera works or lights up when you turn on your running lights. Now if you just have them on automatic, your headlights or your running lights on automatic, sometimes it won't light up. It depends on the truck. So you might have to physically turn the knob on your for your running lights. If that made any sense, hopefully it did. It made sense when I was thinking about it until it came out of my mouth here. So we're a little bit dirty in here, as you can see, but we're still cleaning it here. I just got to get this video done because of time constraints. So the awning, to extend the awning, is right here, right there. Remember what I told you about having the door out at 90 degrees? That's all there is to it. You're just going to run it out till you can see the awning tube. That's why you know you're all the way out. Never leave it out unattended. If you're leaving the campground, roll the awning in because wind damage can happen to an awning very quickly. So you always want to leave it in unless you're using it. The slide room, you're just going to push it out. Right here, we're running off battery right now because this part of the lot does not have a plug. So anything that can run on battery or 12-volt DC in a trailer does. Unfortunately, the slide out and the awning do. So if you pull into an area to rest and they allow you to put your slide out, some of them don't nowadays, but you don't need to plug in, you just send it out. Okay, so right there, you hear the ratcheting sound, that's why you know you're all the way out. It does the same thing coming in. That just keeps it from overextending or over retracting. Okay, back to where we were here. So these are just lights, interior lights and your awning light. You can see it there. Let me shut that off so I don't waste the battery. This is your water monitor panel. So to turn on your water heater on gas, you do this. Always make sure there's water in the water heater before you turn it on. If you need to use your pump, that's it right there. That pumps your water. So you can see your battery is all the way charged. Freshwater tank has a third in it, but I haven't drained that yet. You saw me just drain the other two. The black tank, and now it just is empty. You can see how it will graduate. Well, let me do this here. So you can see it would graduates up in 1/3 increments. They'll light up as it fills. Same way with your gray, which is. Let me switch hands here. There we go. So that's empty. So they'll graduate up as it fills. Okay. This is the rest of your backup camera here. This is the monitor that you'll plug into your cigarette lighter in your truck. You hook up wirelessly. Okay. So I guess I will turn the lights on here. See if we can get a better view of things. All right. So the oven. Always the glass lid, the bifold glass cover, always fold it down when you're traveling because it'll get broke if you don't. All right, so all you're gonna do, I don't know if I have the gas turned on here, but I'll find out in a minute. I don't. So we'll just walk you through it. You're gonna go to light, and then you just turn this clockwise to spark it, and it'll light. You do that for each one of these, obviously. You've got a microwave below. If you can see, it's a convection microwave, which is a really good thing to have, and it works like any other convection microwave that you would have. It's nothing unique about it. I told you about the vent on the outside for the fan on the vent hood or range hood. That's fan, that's light. Let me close this down so I don't forget. Okay. Your refrigerator is a Norcold refrigerator. It's gas absorption, meaning it'll run on LP gas or 110 AC. It's automatic refrigerator, so there's not a whole lot to it. So basically, it's on and off. That's all. It always seeks out 110 AC first. So if it finds it, it'll use it. If it doesn't find it, it'll light on gas, right? So if let me just shut it off. You hold it in to shut it off like that. So once you turn it on, it'll search, and if it finds electricity, it'll use it. Right now, there's no electricity because we're not plugged in, so it has to switch to gas, as you can see. If you're using electricity in the middle of the night, you have a power failure, it'll automatically switch over to gas too. So that's all there is to it. It's about the simplest refrigerator you can get in an RV. Okay, down here is your power converter. This device converts 110 AC. Regular household current to 12 volt DC. Remember I told you everything that can run on 12 volts in an RV does. Some things have to be AC power, like the microwave or the air conditioning, that sort of thing. So you got regular household circuit breakers here. Then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC over here. You got regular automotive type fuses here, 12 volt fuses. If any of those were to blow, and they're both labeled by the way, all of them, both the AC and DC are labeled. If any of these blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see it through this perforation, so you would know that. Also, this is a battery charger, battery tender, so it'll send so much energy your battery has, and if it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. If it's charged, it'll just trickle a couple, but it'll keep you charged as long as you're plugged in. Okay, moving right along over here. So this is your thermostat. Normally it's dark. It's not lit up blue, but I was just fiddling with it. So first thing you do is go like this to light it up, right? So it turns on. So then you go push it once. That's fan, which is the AC running without the compressor. There is the AC running. Auto. You always want to run it on auto. Punch it again, and that would be the furnace. And then punch it again, and that's off. You set the temperature here, obviously. And keep in mind, everything has a lag time before it turns on and shuts off. So you're going to have to wait 5 seconds, sometimes a little more, before the AC would kick on or the furnace. But you just keep that in mind. You have to be a little patient. That's the way it's supposed to be. When they first started shipping those, I thought there was something wrong with the first one I found, because I'm fiddling around and pushing the buttons and nothing's happening. But like I said, there's a lag time. All right, this switch right here. You can't run the fireplace and the air conditioner at the same time, which you wouldn't really want to do anyway. So you have to select. Right now it's the fireplace is selected. This runs on 110 AC. So when you're plugged in, you can use the fireplace. Now, it's a good thing to have because you do have a furnace, obviously, that uses LP gas, but it's good to save your LP gas for cooking or heating when it gets really cold. So when you're just sitting around in the evening or the morning, you can just turn this on. It's a space heater. It's got a fan in it, a high and low setting. You can adjust the flame, the visual effects on the flame. You can set the thermostat, that sort of thing. It comes with a remote control. So that's nice. So you can actually use this when you're plugged in. You can use it instead of wasting your or using up your gas unnecessarily. Okay. To run on the air conditioner, obviously you're just going to flip this and then you'll use the thermostat over there that we're just looking at. Okay, your I gotta decline this call here. Hold on. Okay. Your Furrion radio, it's a AM/FM radio. You can stream off this USB here. You can hook up wirelessly with Bluetooth, so you can play your MP3s off your phone or your tablet, whatever you want to do. It has 2 zones. 1 is inside, 2 is outside speakers. You can see USB and Bluetooth. You can also, it has another source if you were to patch it differently in the back, which you can do, by the way. You just pull the cover off of it and it's held in by 4 screws, and you can patch it from the back if you're so inclined. But this one is automatically wired. You can see this is your signal booster for your digital antenna. So you're going to just hook up right here with your TV set once you get it. You plug it in here. Obviously you've got the mount here, and you're all set, ready to go. You always want this to be on. You could shut it off, but you want it to be on or you won't be able to get a good picture. You turn it on and it'll scan just like your TV at home if you have antenna TV. But it'll pick up anything that's broadcast no matter where you're at. Of course, you got these USB ports various places around the trailer. All right, let's see, what have I not talked about? Okay, this down here, this is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It's green. It should always be green like that. You can set it off. Goes through 2 self-tests, one for LP, the next one for carbon monoxide, coming up, and then back to green. And so it'll also beep really slowly sometimes. That's telling you your battery's low. So, but it should always be green like that. If it does go off, you want to take everybody outside, turn off your gas up front, and figure out what's going on. All right? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so into the garage. This, in the bathroom here, this GFCI, all the plugs are wired through it, even the one on the outside. So if you're using a coffee pot outside and it pops, you're going to reset it here. You got a fan. You want to run the fan when you use the shower to pull the humidity out, because it's very tightly built trailers these days. They're trying to make it energy efficient. Your shower works like any other shower. The toilet, the bottom line is with the toilet is you can't use it dry, and you have to have chemical in it. So what you're going to do is when you first get to the campground, you set up your trailer. Obviously you plug it in and hook up your water. This has a foot pedal to operate it over here. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take your chemical, throw it in there, and then you're going to, this is just residual water pressure, but when you got your water hooked up, the water will be swirling out here. So you're going to put about 1 gallon or 2 of water in there. There's no way to tell that from a monitor panel or anything. You just have to use common sense and say that's about 1 gallon or so. That's about between 1 and 2 gallons. The bottom line is you want to have chemical and water in it when you're using it. You don't have to repeat that procedure until you dump the tank. If you were to dump the tank and stay on the same campsite, after you dump the tank, you would come back in here and put the chemical in there, a couple gallons of water. Now when you flush it, it only fills about up to here. So there's a spot here. Let me see if I can show you. It's kind of hard to show you with the lighting as it is, but you can push it before the trap opens in the toilet. But when you do that, the water valve will turn on, so you can fill it as full as you want with water before you use it. You just have to do that each time before you use it. Okay. Into the garage. This is pretty self-explanatory. These just fold up. You can see where they latch to the wall. You can fold them flat. These spin over and you can make it into a sleeping area, or use the table. The table collapses down. That little yellow dot there, you'll just push that to the right, and then there's hinges, as you can see. You just collapse the base down. So it's versatile. You got an extra bedroom, plus you got seating area, dining area, whatever you need, or you can get everything out of the way for your dirt bikes or pedal bikes or 4-wheelers or whatever you got. Okay. And the garage, obviously, door goes down from the latches outside. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. And there's your patio fence, I guess you would call it. Okay. Also, there's over there, let me show you where I'm at here because I know we're very close with this camera. Right there, you can also hang a TV there. There's antenna and power for a TV. And there should be a sticker on here. There's not, but right there you can feel a backer. So you just make sure you screw the bracket into something solid, okay? All right. So let me get back out here. I think we've pretty much got it. Let me look around just to make sure I didn't forget anything. One thing I want to tell you about these blinds real quickly. These just pull up and down, right? The tension is set by these lines here on each side. The tighter this is, the tighter this is to put up and down, right? So if you're, after using it a while, if you're out, let's say you're out west somewhere at Yosemite Valley and it just keeps sliding down, you don't have to get service or anything. You just have to shorten this line. So you'll pull this through, or else you can unscrew it and pull it through, but be very careful you don't strip it. But you pull this line through and you will tie a knot into it like a ½ inch farther up. So it's tighter, just on one side. It'll work it all out as you put it up and down. And once you do that, you won't have the problem anymore. So keep that in mind. You don't want to go so tight you break this, but if you need to do some adjustments on it, it's very simple, okay? All right, and I did mention that this, I think I mentioned that this table, you can pull the poles out of it and set it on the cleats here, and then use the back cushions to fill in the space, and you got another bed. So, okay, well, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer from National RV Detroit. Make sure you do a lot of camping with this. That's the key. You want to use it as much as possible. Also, inspect your roof. You have to go up on the roof and inspect it. Figure 3 times a year, once in the spring, once in the fall, once in the middle of the summer. You'll go up there, walk around. You can walk up there, no problem. Look at all the sealant. There's a lap sealant called Dicor that seals everything. You're just going to check it. Make sure there's no separation or cracking. When you start to see that happening, you will some year. You don't know why or when. That's why you inspect it. Eventually, you'll see something happening. Generally, it's at a corner area, but not always. You get it taken care of immediately, and this trailer will be bone dry inside for years and years and years and years and years. If you don't, eventually water will work its way in. That's why you inspect it. Odds are you won't have to do anything to it for a long time, but you're inspecting it just to make sure, okay? So always inspect your roof. Okay, well, thank you very much, and goodbye.